Hello guys, how are you all? I hope you people are preparing well for your exams and all. Now here we will going to see one question that is of the calorimetry. Okay, this is the question of the ICSE 10 class board exam. So I have taken this question from one previous year exam question paper. Okay, that was of the 2019. So basically this question deals with the chapter that is the calorimetry. So the given numerical which you can see on the screen is basically asked every year. Okay, not exactly the same numerical, but you can see that every year there is one question for which is based on the numericals of the calorimetry is given there. So we will going to see this question, how we can solve such question when they will be in the exam, and what should be our approach. I have taken this question because this question is basically very important one in point of view of the exams and all. Okay, and most I have seen that lots of the time most of the students will going to get mistake while attempting this question because they don't know how to attempt such questions basically, or other reason may be that they know how to attempt the question, but because of some calculations and because of not getting the given from the given question, they're going to get failed to attempt this question properly and all, and they will going to lose the 3 or 4 marks. You can see on the screen of the question that is asked for the 4 marks. Okay, so basically now we will going to see how we can solve this question. I have already provided the solution here because I have solved it first on the paper and then I have pasted it here, so it will be easier one for you to get the answer and to know the each and every step whatever mentioned in this on the screen. Okay, first we will going to see the question, what is given in the question, and then we will go for the solution. Okay, so you just listen me carefully and follow the steps which are given on the screen and in the solution that is provided there. Okay, I will try to explain this question in the both language, English and Hindi, and later on if some people are watching this video in the from the Maharashtra or in the nearby places, then they can also ask some doubts in Marathi also. I will try to explain some steps in the Marathi also. Okay, so it will be easier for those people also. Okay, so first we are going to see what is given in the question. Okay, so just listen me carefully, you will going to get this question very easily, and then you can attempt this question at any time and whatever the question is there, like the question which is given on the screen. Okay, so basically we don't have to miss the answer questions of the calorimetry. Question is 104 gram of the water is at a 30 degrees Celsius is taken in a calorimeter. So what is happening here? There is one calorimeter that is made up of the basically copper and all. Okay, having the mass 42 gram. In that particular calorimetry, the 104 gram of water is kept at 30 degrees Celsius. So can we say that the calorimetry and the water are at a same temperature, that is 30 degrees Celsius? Okay. Now, when a certain mass of the ice at a 0 degrees Celsius is added in it. Okay, means now what is happening, whatever the water was there at the 30 degrees Celsius, in that water the ice of at the 0 degree Celsius is added. So obviously we know that that ice will start to melt, and then after the melting process what will happen, that ice will start to get cooled down up to the some temperature of the mixture. Okay, so that temperature of the mixture will also be the temperature of the water and the calorimeter after some time. Okay, so it is already given there, the final temperature, steady temperature of the mixture after the ice has melted was found to be 10 degrees Celsius. So can we say the temperature of the mixture will become 10 degrees Celsius? So it will be the temperature of the water also, it will be the temperature of that particular calorimeter also, and it will be the temperature of that ice or whatever the water that will going to get melt. So now we have to find the mass of ice, that is unknown. Okay, so we have to find this, it is unknown, so we will going to find it. Whatever we have given, that is the heat capacity of the water, specific latent heat of the fusion of ice, that is 336 joule per gram specific. Now in this whole given, we have to check whether all the quantities having the same units or not. So we can see that each and every quantity that is given in the question are in the same units, that is mass is given in the grams, temperature is given in the degree Celsius, and then whatever the energy, heat energy is given there, that is given in the joule. Okay, so we don't have to convert the units and all, so we can say that our half work is already done, that is no conversion of the units is required here. Now what is happening here is that I have seen most of the students directly apply the principle of the calorimetry and they obtain the answer, but this thing should not happen in the exam and all, because this question is for the 4 marks, so you have to go step by step and obtain the answer, so that it will be easier for you people possible also to solve the next step or to obtain the next steps and all, and it will be easier for the examiner also. So you will going to get the maximum mark, we can say that full marks and all, if you are attempting this question very properly. अगर ये क्वेश्चन आप बहुत सही से करते हो, ढंग से करते हो, स्टेप्स अगर अच्छे से फॉलो करते हो, तो पूरे 4 मार्क्स आपको मिलने वाले। मैंने गिवन में क्या लिखा है देखो। So given mass of water is 104. So you can see these are the quantity, these are the parameters for the water. Okay, so mass of the water was 10 gram, 104 gram. Water of the temperature of the water was 30 degrees Celsius, and specific heat capacity of the water was 4.2 joule per gram per degree Celsius. Now, on this side I have written for the copper or calorimeter. So you can see the mass of the calorimeter or the copper is taken as a 42 gram. Then temperature of the copper or the calorimeter was 30 degrees Celsius. It will be it will be same as that of a water. Okay, temperature of the water. Now, latent heat of the fusion of the ice, that is 336 joule per gram. Now we have written, okay, I think mistakenly that is taken here, that is minus. Okay, so forget about that particular minus sign. Okay, we will going to it was, forget about the minus sign, it was mistakenly written there. Okay, now we will go for the ice. Now I don't know the mass of the ice, so I will take it as x gram. That x gram, I will take it as x gram because I have to calculate it. Now temperature of the initial temperature of the ice was 0 degrees Celsius. Now what is happening here, it is written that the mixture of the temperature become the 10 degrees Celsius. So we can say that the mixture of the ice will become, so temperature of the ice will also become 10 degrees Celsius after cooling down. Means first there will be the melting process, then there will be the cooling of the ice. Okay, or water we can say. Now what do we have to find, we have to find the mass of the ice, that is x. सो वी विल गो फर्दर। ना यहाँ पूरा गिवन लिख लिया है, आपने देख लिया होगा, शायद आपको समझ में आ गया होगा ये गिवन क्या है। तो यहाँ हर एक चीज़ हमने ली है। अगर आपको कुछ भी अगर डाउट आता है तो वापस आप कमेंट्स में मुझे पूछ सकते हो, मैं आपको अगेन बताऊंगा। एक्स ग्राम ऑफ mass of ice is added to the water in a calorimeter. So what I am doing, I am adding the x gram mass of ice to the calorimeter, and that particular x gram of mass will going to get melt down and it will become cool up to the mixture temperature of the mixture, that is 10 degrees Celsius. Now this is the final temperature for the water, calorimeter and the ice also. According to the principle of the calorimetry, we know that अब क्या होगा, हमें पता है कि जब ये आइस उस वाटर में डाल दिया गया है जो पहले हॉट बॉडी यानी हॉट ऑब्जेक्ट था, तो अब वो आइस क्या करेगा, अपना जो हीट एनर्जी है वो सॉरी वो वाटर जो क्या करेगा, अपनी हीट एनर्जी किसको देगा, आइस को देगा। सो यहाँ हमें पता है कि प्रिंसिपल ऑफ कैलोरीमेट्री में क्या होता है, द हीट released or lost by the hot object is equal to the heat gained by the cold object. So there will be the heat exchange in between the water in the calorimeter and the ice. Okay. So यहाँ से हमें पता चलता है heat lost by the hot water will be equal to heat gained by the ice. Now hot water एंड कैलोरीमीटर बोथ हैविंग द टेम्परेचर 30 डिग्री, यानी वो क्या करेंगे, उनमें अगर हम उसमें अगर हम आइस पुट अप कर रहे हैं, इफ वी आर पुटिंग द आइस इनसाइड द कैलोरीमीटर एंड द वाटर, दे विल गोइंग टू लूज आउट देयर हीट एनर्जी। ओके, देख सकते हैं हीट रिलीज बाय the water and heat released by the calorimeter is equal to heat of gained by the ice for melting and heat used for cooling of the ice up to T degrees Celsius. Now most of the students going to miss this step, that वो directly क्या लिख देते हैं कि heat used by the ice for cooling. Okay, यानी जब उनको पता चल जाता है whatever given in the question is that the ice was at 0 degree Celsius initially, now its temperature become the 10 degree Celsius, तो वो क्या करते हैं, सिर्फ एक ही फार्मूला अप्लाई करते थे, that is mc delta t. But we have to observe here is that whenever we take the ice, there used to be the two steps, okay, two processes. First there will be the melting of the ice into the water at a constant temperature, and then there will be the increase in the temperature of the ice from 0 degree Celsius to whatever T डिग्री सेल्सियस। ओके, नाउ तो मैंने यहाँ ऊपर जो लिखा है वो मेरा ये जो टेम्परेचर ऑफ मिक्सचर है टी डैश है, ऊपर आप देख सकते हो टी डैश मैंने कंसिडर किया है टेम्परेचर ऑफ द मिक्सचर जो हमने लेना है। ओके, अब देखो फार्मूला सम फर्स्ट। सो वी नो दैट हीट लॉस्ट बाय द वाटर इज एम डब्ल्यू सी डब्ल्यू delta TW. Similarly, heat lost by the calorimeter will be MCU 5Cu because it is a copper. MCU mass of the copper multiplied by specific heat of the copper, heat capacity of the copper, and then temperature difference between the copper. Okay, then on the right hand side I am writing here heat used by the ice for melting. So it will be mass of ice multiplied by specific latent heat of the ice, and then this is mass of the ice and specific capacity of the water or ice, and then temperature difference of the ice. Okay, now I have just put the values whichever given in the above section. Okay, so for each and every time I have put the values here. So you can see now delta TW means temperature difference between the water. Okay, तो कितना था? Basically we know that initially the temperature what was at the 30 degrees Celsius, and the temperature difference will become then 30 minus T dash. T dash, what is T dash? T dash is the T dash is the temperature of a mixture. Okay, so ये temperature of a mixture हो जाएगा, तो इसलिए वैसे लिखा है. सिमिलरली दिस विल बी फॉर द कैलोरीमीटर ऑल्सो. अब देखो राइट हैंड साइड में x क्या है? मास ऑफ आइस है जो हमें कैलकुलेट करना है. देन उसके बाद हमें देखना है कि उसका स्पेसिफिक लैटेंट की हीट कितना था? 336. सो हैव रिटन इट नाउ, प्लस मास ऑफ आइस दैट इज x दैट आई हैव टू कैलकुलेट हियर. Then specific capacity of the ice that is 4.2, and then the temperature difference between the two temperature of the ice. Now temperature T dash, what is T dash? It is the temperature of the mixture. And what is T ice? It is the initial temperature of the ice that is at 0 degree Celsius. So I will put the values accordingly. Okay, you can check this step properly again. So you will going to get the idea that कि कौन सी स्टेप यानी कौन सी वैल्यू किस स्टेप की है, तो आपको यहाँ से पता चल जाएगा कि एवरीथिंग इज ओके. ओके, अगर नहीं समझ में आ रहा है यू कैन अगेन आस्क मी इन द कमेंट्स एंड ऑल. ओके, तो सिंप्लीफिकेशन आपको ढंग से करना है. मोस्टली व्हाट हैपन इज दैट बेसिकली लॉट्स ऑफ द students put the values properly according to the formula, but while calculating in while calculating the answers of those multiplication or products of the two number, they're going to miss lots of the things and all, and because of that they're going to get failed to obtain the correct multiplication or the products of the number, and because of that they're going to get failed for solving such questions and all correctly. Okay, so for solving such questions correctly, what is the main important thing? That your products, your multiplication, your calculation should be very correct, because if you're missing a single digit or a single number in this in such questions, you will going to lose out the marks and all. So obviously if we are performing lots of the steps like these, we are doing lots of the hard work, or we can say mehnat here, and then what is happening there? Ultimately, before obtaining the answers we are doing some small mistakes or silly mistakes, and then we will going to lose out the mark. So you will not going to lose the marks because of the silly mistakes or some common mistakes and all. Okay, so अब देखो इन दोनों का मल्टीप्लिकेशन मैंने यहाँ लिख दिया है. After getting the multiplication of these two quantity, I have written them 8736 plus 336 equal to 378x. So we can see here 378x equal to 9072. Yes, what is x? That is the unknown mass of ice. Okay, so I have to calculate it. So expression को आप divide कर दो, divide 9072 by the 378, you will going to get the answer that is x equal to 24 gram. And what is x? We have taken the x as a mass of ice. Yes or no? Yes. So here we are getting the answer that is 24 gram as the mass of ice. So we can see the mass of ice added in that particular calorimeter, or the water inside the calorimeter was और इज 24 ग्राम. सो इस तरह से हम इस क्वेश्चन को बहुत इजीली सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. अब मैं इजी कह रहा हूँ, कुछ लोगों को ये बहुत हार्ड लग रहा होगा. ऑब्वियसली आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड द थिंग्स एंड ऑल. ओके, सो सम पीपल विल गोइंग टू फेस दिस क्वेश्चन easily, or some people will having some difficulty to solve this question. So what you have to keep in mind in such cases is that whenever you try to solve such questions, you have to focus properly on the given section, and then you have to write down the values properly with the help of the formula. You will going to get the answer. And what is the main important thing? Don't do any mistakes or some common errors in the calculation, otherwise your answer will going to get wrong, and you will not going to get the marks and all. Obviously you will going to get some marks on the steps, but getting the answer correctly up to the last step is very important. And because we know that the weightage of this question is for the 3 or 4 marks, so obviously we can't miss this question. It is a very important one. अगर हमें ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा मार्क्स लाना है एग्ज़ाम में, तो हमें हर एक क्वेश्चन को प्रॉपरली स्टडी करना है. उसका गिवन क्या है, उसमें क्या दिया है, वो हमें देखना है और फिर पढ़ना है. So in this way we can solve this question correctly and properly. Still, if you people have any doubts or some question or queries regarding such questions, you can ask me. If you people have some more questions like this, and if you are facing lots of the problem while attempting those questions, you can just share your queries and all. I will go solve them. Yes. So I hope that you got the और यू अंडरस्टैंड द कंसेप्ट दैट इज गिवन हियर कि हमने इस क्वेश्चन को कैसे सॉल्व किया और इस क्वेश्चन को हमें कैसे सॉल्व करना चाहिए. आई होप दिस विल बी हेल्पफुल फॉर यू. थैंक यू सो मच.